The Allays have just been added to Minecraft Bedrock Edition in the beta, and not only can they fetch and retrieve items for you, they can be used to create an amazing non-stackable item sorter for just about every non-stackable item in the game. This is pretty revolutionary for storage systems because now we can separate every single type of item in this chest, including all the different types of armor, weapons, and tools, and all of the other things. Previously, the vast majority of these items were unfilterable and unsortable, but now we can create a very simple and fast system to sort each of these items reliably using Allays. This right here is basically all that you need to create a very fast and reliable item sorter for all the non-stackable items. This will sort about 72 items per minute or 7,200 items per hour. It's slightly slower than hopper speed. This is a 2-wide tileable system and it takes 1 Allay per slice, and these guys can really sort some items. Like, they are extremely quick and a powerhouse of item sorting. It's very easy to tile this system. I have a 5-slice setup here for all of the netherite armor and some totems of undying. We got ourselves a bunch of unsorted versions of those items, and you can just throw whatever you want into this chest. Each one of these Allays has the item that it is supposed to be sorting, and if we turn on this system, you can see just how quick it is. You don't even really notice that the Allays are doing anything, but as you can see, sometimes they do throw the items up into the air, which is kind of a fun cosmetic addition. But as you can see, we are getting a bunch of items into these chests. These guys are incredibly fast little monsters, and as you can see, there's nothing in the output chest because they have not missed a single item. Of course, the system is very loud, and by definition, it can never be silent, so I would recommend just not standing next to it. How this system works is we're taking an item from the input chest and dropping that in front of the Allay. If it cannot pick it up, then it sits right above this hopper for just a second because it is locked, and then that hopper unlocks, sends it into the dropper of the next slice. It goes up and then gets dropped out in front of this Allay. And basically, we just keep on repeating that process over and over again until eventually an Allay picks it up and sorts it into the correct chest. If none of the Allays are sorting that item, it'll go into your output chest over here. And it's as simple as that. We're basically feeding through a chain of items one at a time, and all of your Allays are reliably picking them up and sorting them out extremely quickly. Of course, this system can be used for any non-stackable item that you want to, but it can also be used for regular stackable items. There's absolutely no reason to use it for stackable items. It's a total waste. Just build yourself a regular item sorter like the one I have linked above. If you need a non-stackable filter, then one like this will do you just fine. Basically, this is going to be your input. You'll send in a bunch of non-sorted items like non-stackables and stackables. It's going to sort out every single non-stackable item, put that into your system, and then you can use your Allays to separate out the different item types. As you can see, we got all of our regular stackable items over here and our non-stackables over here. If you've played around with the Allay, you might be wondering how we've separated them into different cells without the note blocks cross-linking. As you can see, if you just power it like this, these note blocks are linking to all 3 Allays, meaning that all 3 of these guys would try to throw items at this note block. However, a very sneaky change that was not mentioned in the change logs is the fact that wool occlusion was actually added to note blocks. I was literally going to suggest this to Mojang if it wasn't already in the game. Another change is that now you can have any solid block you want above note blocks and they will still play a tune, as you can see. So if you want a note block to be silent as of this beta and onwards, you need to put a wool block above it, and then it will no longer make sounds. So as you can see, it is incredibly easy to separate these things into cells. You only need 1 piece of wool per cell in order to block those vibrations from getting to the different Allays. And as you can see, we now have 3 separate Allays linked to 3 separate note blocks, meaning that each one of these will throw items at that note block and into a hopper. If we contain these guys into a little cell, then that is all there is to it. A little note here, Allays do need to be able to move vertically a little bit in order to actually pick up items. Currently, if they're inside of like a minecart or a boat, then they're not going to pick up items, so that's why we have a 2-block space right here. If you're not aware of what wool occlusion is, basically it's the thing that stops vibrations for skulk sensors. So as you can see, now we can be over here and jump around and do all we want, and because that wool block is there, that is blocking our sound vibrations from hitting the skulk sensor. If that wasn't there, then we'd be activating it it and probably summoning a warden. With this design, you also have easy access to all of the Allays, so you can click on them to take the item back and then give them a new item if you ever want to change what item your slice is sorting. So it's incredibly convenient in that manner, and the Allays also never pathfind either because they don't have anywhere to go. So this is a relatively lag efficient system. If you want to build this system, it is 2 blocks wide by 4 blocks deep, and it's also a total of 6 blocks tall as well. You're going to start in the back right corner with a solid block, place a redstone torch above it, another solid block, and a redstone torch to the side of it. A dropper facing upwards and a dropper facing to the right as well. We need a temporary block out and a hopper facing to the right there. Get yourself a solid block right here and a couple of slabs above those. And now we need 2 trapdoors right here. Flick both of those vertical. We now need to get ourselves in a double chest, and that's going to be going in at this location right here for your item storage. A hopper facing downwards right above that as well. Go ahead and get in yourself a piece of wool right there and a note block right there as well. We need a glass block there and a solid block on top of that, along with a piece of redstone dust, upper slab, and redstone dust right there. Put in yourself a fence right there, and that is 1 slice done. Build this several times over to sort as many items as you want. And of course, make sure there's a solid block above this redstone torch. Once you have them all tiled together, at the very end, you can save a redstone by lowering that slab down a block and having the redstone power the note block from above. At the beginning of the system, you just send a hopper line into your first dropper, and this is your input line for anything that you want to be sorted by the Allays. At the very end of the system, your final hopper should be facing downwards into your output chest. When it comes to wiring all these things together, find whichever one is in the center and then place a 2 redstone to either side of it and then a repeater, and then just keep alternating this. So it would be redstone and then repeater off into infinity for however many slices you have. The clock to power all this stuff is a rather unique one that I just kind of randomly stumbled into. You want an observer facing away from the center block of the build, sticky piston facing towards it, a solid block right there, comparator on subtract mode, observer facing that observer, and then a redstone dust right there. Your on and off lever goes right here, and this is about as fast as I can get it before the system starts breaking and your Allays start missing items. If you have a chunk border going through this, then it could break, so be aware of that. This is the system that we've been waiting basically a decade to have in Minecraft. Fully functional, reliable, and quick non-stackable item sorting in Minecraft. It is finally here. It's going to be a great addition to any and all of your storage systems. If you like this video or learned a thing, then of course drop a like as it helps out the video and the channel a ton. If you're new here, then subscribe to help us reach 500,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for your support. I'll see you guys down in the comments and in the next one. And then there was silence.